Quick announcement here before I start the progress report video. I made a frame perfect counter video on Mercury, which exploded in popularity, reaching 13,000 views in a week. I absolutely appreciate the attention this project managed to get, as this level was something really special to me. Hello guys, Burak here. This month, I peaked in terms of activity in comparison to other months, as expected. However, there were a couple of things that prevented me from streaming in this burst of activity. Normally, I release a single progress report video every single month, but this month, I had to release 3 videos and a short. A frame perfect counter video, 2 progress report videos, and a short that announces a 30-hour stream in case we reach 500 subscribers before February. I also had to remove the decoration, balance, and bug fix the level, which took me over 50 hours to do. Most of the transitions of the level were either removed or redecorated, which also forced me to remake them as well. There were so many bugs with the level, especially with camera triggers, which again took hours to spot out and remove. There were also multiple physically impossible or stupidly hard parts in the level, which I had to nerf. I did other things throughout this month rather than playtesting and content creation, like organizing my Discord server and making a whole new spreadsheet and doc that tracks my total attempts each stream. If you take the total amount of time, I spent over 100 hours just on trying to do all of these. That is more time spent than I did spend on Mercury on month 2, which was my most active month. To put on perspective how ridiculous this was, there was a stream in month 2 where I spent over 19 hours just playing Mercury. Anyway, I averaged around 1 hour of playtime per day, got a new best run of 8.1 to 10.4% on the new version, and reached 232,098 attempts this month. Here's my expectations for this month from the previous month. Just like the last month, I failed to reach every single one of my expectations. However, this does pay off with the fact that I fully managed to remake and playtest the entire level, which allows me to have more streaming potential for the next month. Sit down, relax, get some snacks, cause we don't have a lot of things to talk about. This is more of a nerf rather than a buff, because in the original version, Mercury contained multiple parts that made the level physically impossible or stupidly hard. These parts either got nerfed or remade, which is technically a nerf. But if you look at the first 10% of the level, things completely change. There are 4 gates that you need to pass before you can enter the wave section at 8%. All of these gates did get their individual buffs, but the most effective one was the Gate of Pain, which got 2 240 FPS frame perfects and 960 FPS frame perfect. This made the first 10% of the level go up from Bloodlust difficulty to top 30 difficulty with ease. The wave section also did get buffed, getting more platforms at the end of the wave section and a tighter gate gap at 9%. Here are all of the buffs and nerfs at the first 50% that were recently made. Since the first part of the level got buffed, my overall consistency dropped back to what it was on month 1 in terms of percentage. However, I do think that this is a good thing, since the first 10% of Mercury is now one of the hardest parts in the entire level, just falling behind 24% and 50%. Returning back to Mercury felt more like a relief rather than an oh no moment. This month, as I said, I had so many things to do rather than playing Mercury. Over 100 hours, which is 2/3 of my time spent in this month, went to editing the frame perfect counter and progress report videos, playtesting, bug fixing, and optimizing Quip's copy of the level, reorganizing my Discord server, making a doc and a spreadsheet to keep track of my progress, adding captions into all of my progress report videos, and making a short related with this level. I got a new best on the new copy almost every single day for this month, which just shows the improvement of consistency throughout the days. The grinding experience with Mercury this month was the best out of all months, which is most likely because editing videos and shorts caused a lot of burnouts for me to deal with, since I'm not used to editing for long sessions, and made the time I spent on Mercury more valuable. For my future expectations, I expect to master the Q parts at 5 and 7%, as well as get even more consistent at the wave that I practiced in this month. If I manage to pull this off, I could do a practice on the 10 to 15% cube section, and finally focus on the gate of pain and the gate of entry for month 6, which is by a long shot the hardest part at the first 20%. For my attempt count, I'm expecting to reach 300,000, since nothing will be getting in my way for February. That's all, everyone. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. I don't do this in a normal progress report video, but I have an extra thing to mention before I end this video. Geometry Dash just got an update as I'm making this progress report video, and now levels can be verified with CBF and get rated, which is insane news for my progress. Mercury has a 960 FPS rate perfect at 3%, which is physically impossible at my refresh rate, which is 240 FPS. Normally, I was gonna pay $4 for Mega Hack to get frame interpolation, but I don't have to do that anymore since CBF is legal now. I will be switching to CBF from now on to have a shot on the first 3%, which was originally physically impossible in 240. Anyways, see you guys in the next progress report video. Bye!